Okay, let's talk about note-taking. It's something we all do, right? Whether it's a quick grocery list or you're in a big lecture. We just kind of assume it's simple, a basic skill we all picked up somewhere along the way. But what if it's not simple at all? What if this thing we're all just expected to know how to do is actually one of the most complicated things we ask our brains to do?
I mean, really think about that for a second. Is it just about writing stuff down, or is there something much deeper going on here? A skill that can literally make or break someone's entire academic career?
Because here's the reality. Taking good notes is this wild juggling act for your brain. You're trying to listen and understand what's being said and filter out what's actually important, and then somehow get all that down on a page in a way that makes sense, all before the speaker moves on to the next topic. I mean, it's a ton of work and it's super easy to get overwhelmed. So let's get into it. Why is this supposedly simple thing such a massive hurdle for so many people? And as we'll see, this isn't just about having bad habits. For a lot of folks, it's about a fundamental neurological challenge in how they process information.
Okay, so this is the official definition from the National Institutes of Health, and this is super important. It tells us that a learning disability isn't about intelligence. It's about a difference in processing information. And just look at those key phrases: understand language, direct attention. Those are the exact skills you need for great note-taking.
And believe me, that difference in processing has huge real-world consequences. Just look at this number, 78%. Nearly 8 out of 10 college students with learning disabilities say they struggle specifically with taking notes in class. This isn't some small issue. It's a massive systemic barrier for a huge chunk of the student population.
And all of this, it builds up into this major barrier to success. I mean, when the one tool that's supposed to help you learn actually becomes a source of stress and anxiety, well, the entire educational journey is suddenly at risk. The stakes couldn't be higher. And this quote from a student who was part of a pilot study, it just brings it all home. You can feel the frustration, right? It's not about not trying. It's about that sinking feeling of being lost in all this information, not knowing what to grab onto. That's the real story behind the statistics.
And yeah, researchers have pinpointed exactly what these hurdles look like. And it's really like a domino effect. If you can't stay focused, you can't figure out what's important. If the professor talks too fast, your notes get all jumbled and incomplete. And then, when you try to study later, you can't even read them. It's this vicious cycle that just completely undermines the whole point of learning.
And when you add all of that up, you get a pretty tough reality. These day-to-day struggles in the classroom have a direct impact on whether students actually graduate. This chart says it all. There's an 11-point gap in college completion rates. And that gap, that represents thousands of people whose potential isn't being met, partly because of something as basic as taking notes.
But what if technology could help fix this? What if it could bridge that gap? Well, way back in 2011, a really interesting pilot study looked at a piece of assistive tech to see if it could completely change the game for these students. So this tool was a smart pen. Here's how it worked, and it's pretty cool. You write on this special paper, and a tiny camera in the pen digitizes everything you write. At the same time, a microphone is recording the lecture. But here's the magic part. It syncs the audio to your handwriting. So later, you can just tap any word in your notes, and you hear exactly what was being said at the moment you wrote it. It's basically a time machine for your notes.
Now, the study itself was pretty small, but what it found was a total game changer. The tech worked. It proved that if you combine the physical act of writing with audio playback, getting more of your senses involved, and then add some digital organization on top, you could actually lower anxiety and boost comprehension. And that principle is the key to everything that comes next.
Okay, so let's fast forward from that little smart pen study to today. That core idea, it didn't just stick around, it absolutely exploded. We are now living in a golden age of digital note-taking tools, and they're available to literally everyone.
And just take a quick look at what's out there now. You've got these do-it-all powerhouses like Notion. You've got these second brain apps like Obsidian for connecting ideas. You've got amazing study tools like RemNote with built-in flashcards. And of course, digital handwriting apps like GoodNotes, which by the way has that exact same audio syncing magic that the smartphone had. The choices are just incredible.
But when you're picking an app, there's this really big decision you have to make. And it's all about your data. On one side, you've got apps like Obsidian, where your notes are just simple text files on your own computer. You own them forever. On the other side, you have cloud-based apps like Notion, which are amazing for working with other people, but it means your data is living on someone else's server. It's this big trade-off between total ownership and total convenience. And you can see just how huge the impact of these modern tools is. Just listen to this Harvard Med student talking about RemNote.
He calls the ability to make flashcards right from his notes a priceless superpower. I mean, that directly attacks that old problem of having messy notes that you can't even study from.
And this chart really ties it all together. Just look at the features that are basically standard now. Think back to those challenges we talked about at the beginning. PDF annotation for your lecture slides, built-in flashcards for studying, handwriting support for people who think better with a pen, and now even AI that can help summarize your notes or even make practice quizzes for you. The technology is literally built to solve these problems.
So, you've got all these amazing options. The big question is, how on earth do you choose the right one for you? Because the best tool is always going to be the one that just clicks with how your brain works.
All right, here's a quick way to figure it out. Just ask yourself a few questions. Do you love the feeling of handwriting? You got to check out GoodNotes or Notability. Is owning your data the most important thing? Look at Obsidian. Do you want one place for your notes, your tasks, your whole life? That's Notion. And if your number one goal is just to memorize stuff for exams, RemNote was literally built for that. There really is a perfect fit for everyone.
And all of this leaves us with this one kind of mind-blowing question to think about. We started this whole conversation with the simple struggle to just write stuff down. And now we have tools that can record, organize, summarize, and even quiz us on everything. So when our tools can remember it all perfectly for us, what's our job? What does it actually mean to learn anything anymore?